Well, welcome to Thursday with Thor. Today what we're going to do is do a little Dutch oven cooking. I wanted to first explain a little bit about I have here in the front of me, here's on the table a few different types of Dutch ovens. This one here is kind of a cute one. It's like a one pot or one person pot. We use this in scout camp, but it's got little legs that you can screw into the bottom, and so it elevates it, and you basically put the top on, and you can use it just like you'd use the other ones. It has a little pan that you can cook in, and that's a cute one. If you're just cooking for like 1 or 2 people, this is nice, and it's got a little hook on there that you can take the lid off with. So that's kind of nice. Now this style here, this is a 10-inch. You can see there's a 10, number 10 on there. They come in different sizes and there's different depths. This is the one we're going to cook in today. But it's cast iron. They got the little legs on them. So these here I picked up, I got this one I think is a gift. This one here I bought on sale at the store, box store, and this one here I got off of Craigslist. And if you look on like Craigslist, you can get pretty good deals on some of these here, because sometimes people like to go camping or they were in scouts, and then when they're all done, then they'll sell them, and it's a pretty good. You can get them at a pretty good deal. Here, what I'm going to do is start up the coals, get these going, and then we'll go into the house and prep the meal. We got some vegetables to cut up, and by the time we get that done, the coals hopefully will be ready to roll, and we'll start cooking up some meat. Put a few of these egg cartons. I'm a big fan of egg cartons to start fires with, so I put a few in the bottom, and I put the charcoal. And I'll fill it up just because I'm going to be doing some frying on here, and then there's some simmering. I'm putting a bunch of coals in here. Otherwise, I'd count these out a little bit, just so you can kind of save a little bit on your charcoal. Okay, let me put these down here to get them started. So what I'll do, get these started. Then I'll just place this over the top, and then that'll get that paper on the inside going. You can see it's already going right now. It's going pretty good. It's kind of a funny thing. I just kind of stumbled into this smoker I got from a friend. I got it for 50 bucks. Last year it had a little bit of rust on it, so I wire wheeled it and then I spray painted it. It looks pretty sharp, I think. Looks like brand new again. But I kind of stumbled into it because I was going to buy a Dutch oven cooking table, but this works really well as a smoker, and then you can also like barbecue on there. You can put a top grate on there and barbecue, but I also use it as a Dutch oven table. And I had picked this up off of Craigslist. It's a cast iron griddle, and it fits in there perfectly, and so we can cook on our Dutch oven right on there. Okay, so today what we're going to do is cook some sloppy joes, and it's a real simple recipe. I found it online from Rachel Ray, so I've used that now for years, and it's really, really simple. And every cook's got their own personality. I like to call myself a simple cook because I like one pot meals. I like to cook in black iron, that kind of thing. So yeah, so we'll go through the ingredients. We have this for starters. Protein, we got today I'm going to use a pound of pork and a pound of turkey, but if you have hamburger pork or just hamburger or even just turkey, you can do that too, but I like to do the combination, and that's what we had in the refrigerator, so that's what we're going to use today. Then down this list we have tomato sauce, 2 cups. I like to we grow tomatoes and I like to use that, but we have these here handy, so we're just using those. Tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce. There's a little bit of red wine vinegar we put in there. There's a little bit of brown sugar. There's also the recipe calls for Montreal seasoning. I don't have that, but I have something that's somewhat similar, so I'm going to use that. 1 onion, and then it calls for like a green pepper, but I didn't have that, but I have these, and that's kind of fun because it adds a lot of color, the yellows and the reds and the orange. Okay, so on these little baby bells, I like to work with these. I just cut the tops off like that. And if you like the flavor of these, you can put these, more in. If there's some other little vegetable you like, you can do that too. And I like to save the tops on here. You just kind of pluck those off. To cut these out, you don't want the seeds or what I call this little kind of mallow in there. So what I do on these, I just cut them on the side like that, and then I just pull these out by hand. Kind of clears them out. Throw that away. Okay, then I'll cut one of these up here. So what I do is just kind of cut them slices first, like that. Kind of bunch them together, and then just cut them up this way. I like them about that size, just bite size. Next, to cut up the onion, and this is a pretty good size one, but we'll put this in. So I like to cut off the ends, then I cut it down the middle, grab hold of a slice, and there you go. The skin's off. Now what we'll do is some olive oil. I just washed out our Dutch oven. With Dutch ovens, it's kind of cool. You can, in a case like this, now I'm going to cook directly into the pot, but they do sell aluminum liners. You can also use Reynolds wrap, and it all depends on what you're cooking. When you have like soups or like sloppy joes like that, perfectly fine to cook in the bottom of the Dutch oven. Just make sure you wash it out good. So I'll just put some of this in here, kind of coat it. Make sure it's thawed out. Just kind of pop it in there. Okay. And then our pork. Alright, so when you're cooking with Dutch ovens, you want to have, I have some other, I couldn't find them, but I have some heavier leather gloves. But you want to cook with them because you're dealing with heat. You always want to have some tongs with you, because then when you want to move some coals around, you can just grab them and move them like that. The other thing is, this is what they call a lid lifter, and they're a real slick little gadget. You can have the lid when you're cooking. You can go in there and grab it, and when you squeeze it, pinches it, and then you can lift it up and kind of knock the ash off. And then you can also use it to pick up your pot, lift it up that way. So these are handy, especially when you're cooking with multiple ovens around and you're checking and turning and picking things up. It keeps you from burning yourself. Just have them at the ready. The other thing, when you're cooking with cast iron, you want to stay away from like metal utensils because that can scratch off that seasoning. So we try to use wood or plastic. Alright, so our coals are about ready, so we'll dump some in here. And this is our cooking surface. Just dump some on. You just kind of spread it out. It's going to go underneath the pot. We're going to need the lid on this particular part. Meat on there. And when our pot heats up, you'll hear it start sizzling. We're cooking. It's you can see the steam off there and you can hear that sizzle. So now all we're going to do is go through here and just brown off this meat. Shouldn't take too long to do. And just kind of break it up as you go. Yeah, and this smoker works perfect for Dutch ovens because it kind of is windbreak. That's the main thing. But you have a table to work from, and it's just a nice flat surface. If you have a bunch, you can run 2 in here, and then you can even run a third one over in the firebox. Alright, so yeah, as you can see here, it doesn't take long. We're coming close to getting this browned. There's more cooking, so it's involved with it. So we'll get it almost all the way down here, and then we'll start adding some of the vegetables and the liquid. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add the other ingredients. I have them parked over here. I'll grab them. First 2 items is the onions and the bell peppers. Just love that color. And you just dump them in. And kind of stir those in. This is going to eventually will simmer, so half a cup of brown sugar. Put that on there. And then this is that seasoning, the like Montreal, but I'm using like a substitute. Roughly about a tablespoon. What makes this recipe work is it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. And sometimes you'll have sloppy joes, and after you're done you kind of want to hang out for the rest of the evening looking for a fire hose to get something to drink, some water. But you don't have that with this. That's what I like about it. Plus it's just got a great flavor too with all those fresh vegetables in it. That's Worcestershire sauce. We put in about a half a cup. And our red wine vinegar. We put in about a tablespoon of that. And then we'll put in our tomatoes sauce. And we put some tomato paste in there as well. Let's scoop that in. You just kind of mix this all together. And it's smelling good. Okay, so that's mixed together pretty good. Now what we're going to do is put the lid on the Dutch oven and put a few more coals on there. That goes on. Most items that you cook in a Dutch oven is around 350 degrees. That's just kind of how it usually works out. So on this here I got coals on the bottom, and now I got these coals on the top. So we'll kind of monitor it. What we want to do is have this be a nice simmer. So when all that cast iron warms up, it'll get nice and hot in there. Now we'll look in there in a little bit, and if we see it really bubbling, then we'll just take some of the coals off the bottom and some off the top, and then that'll kind of, just like on a stove while you turn it down a little bit. That's how we do it outside with charcoal. Alright, so it's been in here cooking simmering for a little bit, so we're going to check it just to make sure we're not Cabinet Inferno. So that's going pretty good. That's about the pace that you want. Bubbling nice. One other piece of equipment I forgot to talk about. That's what they call a lid rest. And you put that on there, and the reason why you want that is if you're cooking on the ground, you don't want to set your lid on the ground and get dirt on it and then put that back on your food. Here, so just going to stir it just a little bit. That's pretty good. So it won't be long and we'll be ready to be eating. So you kind of see there's a little bit of steam coming out the side there. It's good. It's been probably like 10-15 minutes, so we're ready. I'm just going to set this off on the side. Careful not to get ash into your food. I'm just going to pick this up. Ooh, yeah. Bring it inside. Alright, there you go. So just kind of give it just a little bit of stir. And it's ready to roll. We got some buns here. We're going to have buns, sloppy joes. We got salad and we got some carrots. Dip it in. It's a great meal. This is the final product. We'll see you next Thursday.